Before we start, I would like you to hit that red subscribe button so you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Popping Luxury. Here are 10 of the most expensive pieces of horror movie memorabilia ever sold at auction. Number 10, one of the last two original Dracula posters, Dracula 1931, $525,000. Every original Dracula poster with that famous face of Bela Lugosi in a background of blue would definitely fetch a lot at auctions. Sadly, there are only two of these original Dracula 1931 posters surviving on Earth, so most fans would gladly pay a fortune for it. It became the most expensive original movie poster ever bought at an auction, going for a whopping $525,000 at Heritage House Auction in Dallas in November 2017. It was one of the last surviving relics of Dracula saved by the photographer George J. Michael Jr. from the 1950s. It was in mint condition at the auction, and the house expected to make up to $700,000 from it. Number 9, Jack Nicholson's Axe, The Shining 1980, $209,000. The Shining has risen to the top as the all-time horror movie rankings with a record-breaking global fan base, which is why fans would go crazy for this axe. It went up for auction in the BFI IMAX auction in Waterloo, London in October 2019, alongside other horror movie memorabilia. The axe was still in perfect shape with scratches from the famous door-breaking scene, which took fans by surprise. The hectic bidding process lasted an entire 12 minutes, with the winning bid clocking in at $209,000. It was over 5 times what the auction house expected the axe to fetch. Number 8, Riley Spacesuit, Alien 1979, $204,000. What scared you most about the Ridley Scott Alien in 1979, whether it was a long piercing alien teeth or the scary slimy aliens, you definitely loved it in the end. Most of the items from the original 1979 Alien were auctioned at the Hollywood Memorabilia auction in the 90s. Although they didn't fetch much then, it was, however, featured again in 2018 at the Icons of Heroes of Hollywood's auction in 2018. The jumpsuit with heavy iron paneling and fiberglass went for $204,000, becoming the most expensive sci-fi horror movie memorabilia ever sold. Number 7, the robotic gorilla model, King Kong 1933, $200,000. It turns out, the original King Kong wasn't as big as we thought. King Kong was put up for sale at an auction in London in 2009, shocking many fans since it could easily be carried in one arm. The small robotic model was tiny and covered in rabbit fur, but it was worth more than the actual budget of the film. The 22-inch model featured at Christie's auction house in London expected to sell for around $150,000. But it ended up fetching $200,000. It now stands as the most expensive King Kong memorabilia, beating King Kong Skull Island by a huge gap. Number 6, Ackerman's Dracula Ring, House of Dracula, 1945, $46,000. Bela Lugosi's ring is one of the most popular Dracula memorabilia of all time. It featured in many movies, including Abbott by Bela Lugosi, House of Frankenstein 1944 by John Carradine, and Costello Meet Frankenstein in 1948. It was sold as part of the other treasures kept by Forey Ackerman alongside his personal property. Although it stood out as many of the all-time favorite horror movie memorabilia, it fetched $46,000 in the New York auction in May 2009. Number 5, Riley's Flamethrower, Aliens 1986, $108,000. In the Alien sequel in 1986, Sigourney Weaver appeared with this badass-looking flamethrower. As it turns out, it was a real work of art built from the parts of the grenade launcher, an M16 rifle and an M203 grenade launcher. It was also sold at the Icons and Heroes of Hollywood auction in 2018 alongside the spacesuit. It also raised eyebrows after fetching $108,000, way over its initial naming price of $40,000 to $60,000. It was still in perfect shape when the armband and the rifle receiver still intact. Number 4, the original King Kong poster, King Kong 1933, $244,500. This is one of the last surviving vintage posters of King Kong 1933, and someone wanted to keep it in Hollywood. Cecilia Presley, the granddaughter of Cecilia DeMille, and the 90s movie director, paid nearly $250,000 for the poster. She wanted to donate the poster to the Museum of Motion Pictures for the future generation. She was forced to fork out $244,500 at the Sotheby's auction house amid heavy demand from other King Kong fans. Number 3, the original Mummy poster, The Mummy 1932, $478,000. This was the record holder for the most expensive poster ever sold in the world until the Dracula poster sale in 2017. The poster was sold for $478,000 in 1997, beating the very cost of production, which was a mere $168,000 in 1932. The high demand for this poster was partly due to the great design and coloring of Karloff by Carl Lee Gross, the designer. It was the last such poster on Earth and managed to hold the record for a whole 2 decades. Number 2, the Bride of Frankenstein poster, The Bride of Frankenstein 1935, $358,000. Boris Karloff's image on the poster from The Bride of Frankenstein has attracted some of the highest prices ever paid for movie memorabilia. In 2015, a 14-inch insert of The Bride of Frankenstein sold for $262,000 at a heritage auction sale, setting the record for the highest amount ever paid for a movie insert. The Bride of Frankenstein, however, broke the world record again when the collector bought a 7-foot-long printed poster for $358,000. It was the largest surviving full-size poster from the film and the most expensive one ever sold. Number 1. The Black Cat poster. The Black Cat, 1934, $334,600. An original poster with the classy design and coloring of Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi is a must-have collectible for any vintage horror movie fan. The original Black Cat poster is the best way to enjoy these rare images, which is why this poster killed it at the Heritage Auction in 2009. The red, black, and white poster, shot to a whopping $334,600 in bidding, became the most expensive poster featuring the 2 vintage film stars ever sold. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. A like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also watch the next 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.